Well, hello up here. I hope you're having a good day. So today I've been working with this colt that I bought. I actually bought two colts, and one's here, the other one's getting a hernia worked on, and then I'll start working with both of them. But they're both 2-year-olds. They're going to be 3 this spring. I got them from Marcos Quarter Horses. There's some neighbors. I grew up with the owner and known him my whole life. So that's kind of important when it comes to buying horses anymore. Is you really want to know the people that you're getting the horses from and make sure that what the horse is what it actually is. Because with the horse market the way it is, with them being so expensive, there's some real dingbats coming out of the woodworks trying to sell some horses and make a quick buck, and they'll tell you whatever you want to hear in order to get it sold. And then there's people trying to raise horses, and they're just showing up with some real dinks. So yeah, like I said, it's important to know who you're getting the horse from. This one that's here, the reason I bought him is the guy who owns him. He had a full brother to this horse here at our branding. Really liked the way he worked and how quiet and calm and easygoing he was, and he was pretty young. And then the guy rode him into a bar in Buffalo, Wyoming, which I kind of thought that was cool that he was so laid back he could do that on him. So that's why I got this horse, and I know the stud and the mare that's out of, which is kind of important too. The other one is a great big horse. He's going to be big, and I like a big old horse. The mare that this one is out of, this big one that's not here yet, is the same mare that my horse Bud, the Bay Roan that I ride a lot in these videos. They're out of the same mare, and this colt is actually the last colt that this mare had, so that's kind of cool. But I tried kind of videoing me working with him out here in the corrals, but it just didn't really turn out. So I kind of tell you what I did and then show you a little bit about him. First, I get him in there and I lunge him around. He's not in a round pen. He's just in a corral because I got to get him halter broke before I get him in the round pen. But I get him going in some laps, and then I ask him to kick into a trot and then kick into a lope, and then I back my pressure off till he slows down, till he gets that kind of figured out, and I just have to apply a little pressure, and he'll kick into a trot and go into a lope. And then I back my pressure off, and then I get him to change directions. And while he's loping in a circle, what I want to do is I kind of get out in front of him and I point back the other way he needs to go. And I want him to turn into the pen, meaning I want his head to turn towards me and then go the other way. I don't want him to turn where his head goes along the fence line and his butt points at me. There's a couple reasons you do that, and it's mostly to gain respect. And what it does is he learns that I'm trying to get him to figure something out or do something in particular. And once he figures it out, then I back off the pressure. And that kind of, he gets a little respect for me doing that. And he also learns that I'm not going to ask him to do something forever. You know, for a minute, he probably thinks I'm just loping him in circles around this pen and pushing him this way and that way, and it's just going to be forever. And then when I finally back my pressure off after he does the right thing, then he learns, you know, I'll eventually get it figured out, and then the pressure will be backed off. And my goal was to be able to put a halter on him today, and my plan B was just to be able to touch him. And it's important to have a goal and then a plan B, because I didn't want to keep on pushing him, because we were at this for quite a while. I didn't want to keep pushing him to the point of exhaustion to get the halter on him, because once they get to a certain point, their mind and brain just shuts off, and it's pointless to go any further. And it's important to remember that. And so I got to where I could pet him, and I'll go out and show you how far along we got. And then another thing to remember when you're breaking colts or working with horses is to not to lose your patience or lose your temper. And there was a couple times I almost got frustrated at him because it was just, his bubble was so big and I just felt like I wasn't gaining. But he's got to take a second and be like, you know, horses like this usually turn out to be really good horses. So just work with what you got and try to get there and not lose your cool, because horses pick up on that really well. When you're frustrated or angry or something with them, they can really tell. So you just got to have a relaxed, easygoing mind and body language about you. So anyway, here's what we got done. All right, so a couple things. We're not in a round pen. We're just in a corral hill here. My round pen's off this way, and in order to get him into the round pen, I've got to have a halter. I could maybe kind of herd him down in there, but it's just easier to stick him in here. And you know, any kind of pen will work as long as there's not all kinds of shit laying around in here. There's these, where are they? these bale feeders right here, kind of in the way, but not too bad. But yep, here he is. He's already kind of watching me, so I'll flip the camera around and see how it goes. So he's obviously going to take off. I'm going to let him take off, and I haven't used this flag here at all. The only time I really need to use the flag, see how he turned his butt towards me? I don't want that. So I keep him going the way we were. The only time I use the flag is if he kind of gets sticky and I can't get him to move out. But I'm going to point with my hand. Whoops. I'm going to point this way, and I'm going to step out in front of him and send him that way. And then I'll switch and get him to turn back a couple times, and then I'll ease up to touching him. So right now he's going this way. You know, it's okay that he's a walk. I'm going to step in front of him and point. Now he turned with his butt towards me, so I'm going to hustle around and send him around again. And we'll try it again right here. I'm going to point there. And then I'm going to back my pressure off. You see I'm just standing here. I'm going to let him go nice and easy here. And he kind of turned and came to me on his own, and that's fine. But I'm going to turn him again here. I'm going to point. There we go. And I'm going to send him. Get behind his drive line here. His drive line is just here behind where your front sitch would go. And he's wanting to come up here, but he's not wanting to come up here and say hi. He's wanting to get by me. So, not sure, he's looking at something behind me here, but I don't know what it is. Now I'm going to work up here. He's obviously relaxed and pooping. But he has a pretty big bubble. And I just kind of keep trying to talk to him. And you've got to be able to read their body language and know when they're going to take out on you. So just the way he's standing, he's going to take off that way if he takes off. But he might be pretty good with all this. And I don't reach my hand out real far. Let me switch I'll just reach my hand out like this is all. If I reach out kind of like, I'm going to turn away from him. If I reach out real far like this and grab him, that's kind of threatening to him, I've noticed. And it just doesn't. So I'm going to keep working up to him here. He's probably going to take a step back or two here. Yeah. I think I'm zoomed in a little tight here. There we go. So now I've just barely got my arm stuck out like I had it. And he's just going to bump it with his nose. And he's okay with me there. Petting under his chin. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. There we go. But you see how he's kind of got a wild eye about it. And then I've been working my hand up the side. And I'm on his jaw here. And I'm going to work. And see how he doesn't like the bridge of his nose being touched? So I just got to work up to that. See how I've got my thumb and I'm just kind of scratching here. There we go. He's okay with all that. And then I'm just going to kind of keep working at it. Go back to where he was okay with it. There. Go under his chin again here. He's going to have to be okay with the bridge of his nose being touched for the rest of his life because there's going to be a halter sitting right there. There we go. He let me do it a couple times, so I'm going to back off. Just let him think about that. But that's pretty much as far as I've gotten. I've kind of gotten to where I could scratch up on his forehead between his eyes. But we've been at this quite a while, so I'm not going to push it any further than that. So, but I'm going to keep working with these two. Well, this one when the other one shows up. But this is kind of the last nice day of fall. We're going to get a couple inches of snow here, I think tonight, tomorrow. So I'll try to kind of work on him on and off when there's nice days. But if this is something people would be interested in watching, I'll try to document all of it to getting on him and riding him. And his first ride's out there and working up towards, moving cows on him and dragging calves that are branding and things like that. So here we go.